Shuttle Diplomacy really feels like a unique card in Twilight Struggle. It doesn't allow you to place or remove influence, it doesn't give you a free coup or realignment. It's a more subtle effect that we will need to analyze more here today on Legendary Tactics. Shuttle Diplomacy is a card like no other in Twilight Struggle, and I am still trying to figure out the best way for either player to utilize it. It is an event that can be reasonably powerful or barely have any effect at all. It calls for some deeper analysis. First of all, the event. Shuttle Diplomacy is a 3-op starred mid-war US event card. Triggering the event causes this card to be placed in front of the US player. During the next scoring of either the Middle East or Asia, whichever comes first, subtract one battleground country from the USSR total, then put this card on the discard pile. It does not count for final scoring at the end of turn 10. Please note that the US gets to choose which battleground country to deny the USSR, if it matters. If the USSR is in the unfortunate and perhaps unlikely position of only controlling a single battleground country in one of the affected regions, it can lose presence as a result of this event. Also note that the US cannot gain control as a result of the Shuttle Diplomacy event, as the US must control all battlegrounds in the region being scored. Shuttle Diplomacy doesn't allow you to disregard this condition. For the Soviet player, this is likely a card that you will just have to play for the ops. The event is likely uncertain unless you either clearly dominate both regions, or if you are getting blown out in both Middle East and Asia for some reason. For example, if you are up 4-2 in battlegrounds in the Middle East when it is scored, Shuttle Diplomacy will have no effect at all, other than reducing your victory point haul by 1 because you count one less battleground country. Its event is speculative otherwise, although both the Middle East and Asia have an even number of battlegrounds, so this event can potentially tip the scale towards the US in scoring the region. If you look at a breakdown of each region as provided by twilightstrategy.com, you can see the range of effect. The minimum, best, and most likely effect is a 1 victory point loss, as mentioned before, as you count one less battleground country, assuming you control at least one. The second best outcome is if Shuttle Diplomacy denies Soviet control, which costs 3 victory points in either region. Or it can cost you 3 victory points as well if it prevents domination in the Middle East. If it denies you presence in either region when it is scored, that is not only a bad situation, but it will cost you 4 victory points in either case. The absolute worst case scenario is if it prevents domination in Asia, which sets you back 5 victory points in total. I'm not sure how common this is, but that is a pretty big effect for what is normally a relatively benign event. So pull out your crystal ball and try to read your tea leaves. A glance at the board situation and the discard pile to see what region is likely to be scored next should give you some idea of what the risks are in playing it. I think most times Soviet players are willing to take the risk. It's good to know as well that if you are late in the game and the Middle East and Asian scoring cards have been played for the last time, you can play this card for the ops with impunity because Shuttle Diplomacy doesn't have an effect in final scoring. For the US player, this is also a card that you will likely take for the operations points. The problem with a card like this is that it's just so speculative. You can play it for the event, and by the time the region is scored, the USSR may have been able to mitigate it by savvy gameplay, especially since it is face up in front of you and therefore not much of a surprise. Or, in an unlikely event, playing it may not even have an effect because the Soviets have a lock only on the non-battlegrounds in a region. The 3 operations points are just too valuable unless you see a great opportunity, as in you have a scoring card in hand that you can play more or less right away, maybe in combination with a board situation that favors this event. So in summary, for the USSR, it's likely that you will play this card for the ops and work around any loss of victory points involved. You may want to space it if your position is especially vulnerable, but that is likely going to be a rare circumstance. For the US, You will also want to take the operations points, unless there's a situation where you can either deny the Soviet player presence in either region or prevent domination of Asia. But you had better have the scoring card in hand to make sure that things go according to plan. This is our analysis of the Shuttle Diplomacy card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you found this video helpful and valuable, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you here next time on Legendary Tactics.